Hello, vinyl community, and a special hello and congratulations to Harmless Rebel. Congratulations on 100 subscribers. That's a milestone. I think it's safe to say that all of us really look forward to, because I know for me personally, it kind of gave me validation that what I was doing was worthwhile to other people. So it's all in good fun, and if other people can get enjoyment out of it as well, then wow, it's a good thing. Well, let me just say, I love your questions. I'm sure they've been asked before, but this is the first time I'm participating with these questions, so it's a first for me. Anyway, so I'm actually going to tackle your second question first, because I feel the first question is a little more meaningful to me. I'm sure it's going to be different for everyone that responds, but I do also enjoy your second question, and that was, what musical event really affected us? So for me, it was, I don't remember if it was our first concert together, but it was certainly the most important that we had been to together. One of my wife and I, one of our favorite bands, for me it's top 2, and for her probably top 5, Radiohead. And it was at the Hollywood Bowl, and I don't think they were promoting this album. It was before this album. But let me just tell you, the magical moment for me was when it was probably the second encore, and they were performing Creep, and I looked over at my wife. She just had this look in her eyes like she was totally into the music, and I was totally into the music, and I was totally into her, and we were both singing along, and I kind of pretended like I was singing to her, and it was just one of those moments where we really, really connected together musically, and it was just a fantastic time. So this particular album, let me say, is fantastic on vinyl, by the way. Again, I don't remember what album they were promoting at the Hollywood Bowl that day, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't this one. I'm pretty sure. But this album is amazing, absolutely amazing. It's not as approachable as some of their other albums, but it bears much repetition. Yeah, it's one of those that the more you listen to it, the more you get out of it. So I think some of their earlier albums were although they were fantastic. My two favorite albums by Radiohead are some of their earlier albums, but they weren't as complex, I guess is a good word for it. But this one, yeah. But yeah, so for the first question there, let me put this back here, I guess. For the first question there, definitely Hollywood Bowl, Radiohead with my wife. That was really something. All right, now for the second, or what was the first question in your video, and that is, what album most affected us? And this was an easy answer for me. Previously to this album, or previous to this album, I should say, I kind of like walked in my brother's footsteps, and like one of my oldest brother actually introduced me to the Doors, and I've been a huge Doors fan ever since. They're my number one band. So I could have said that, one of the Doors albums is what really affected me, but but kind of an album that kind of gave me my musical independence is this right here. Jane Siberry, The Walking. And this record actually was featured in my most popular video, the Wood Glue Disaster video, which has an insane number of views. And as a result of that video, I'm kind of the brunt of a lot of jokes, probably, at least on YouTube, maybe not in the VC, but because I think people in the VC are a little more forgiving and understanding of, people's mistakes. But yes, I did the wood glue on this one, and at first I thought I had lost the record, and fortunately, thanks to everyone on YouTube, they gave me a lot of suggestions on how I could salvage it, and I did. It's still in my collection. I do need to find a better copy of this, but back to the question. This album is not for everyone. Definitely not. Definitely not for everyone. I think there's probably a higher percentage of women that would appreciate this album than men, but there was just something about her voice and the songs. I originally saw a couple music videos from this album. This was back in 1987, and they just blew me away, and so I had to get it. And I want to say I probably first had it on CD, actually, and I listened to it over and over and over and over, and it's my favorite album. It's just absolutely amazing. It addresses a number of emotions. It's a very, very emotional album. It has some high points where you're, kind of happy, and it has some really, really low points where, you're just wondering, what am I listening to, and why am I listening to it, and why am I so drawn to this music? I have a fondness for sad songs, so maybe that's one reason I really connect with this album, because the sad songs on this are just heartbreaking, and yet at the same time it's very artistic. And for example, there's the last track. It's almost not even a song, it's like performance art, and that's kind of how the whole album is. I want to say it's a concept album, but I'm not exactly sure what the concept is, but it's certainly telling you a number of stories and carrying you through a roller coaster of emotions. And so as a result, this album really just, it opened my eyes to what music could be. It really did. Jane Siberry, a lot of people aren't familiar with her. She basically puts out her own music now. She started out on the big labels and whatnot. This is on Reprise. So she started out on the big labels, but they kind of screwed her over, and so she started putting out her own music, and she's been doing that. I know she recently had a Kickstarter and stuff like that. So some of her music is a little more commercial, I guess you would say, and then some of it is a little more artsy and non-mainstream, really. So this leans heavily towards non-mainstream. So, which is kind of strange because, this is the album that really broke her. The killer song on here is The White Tent. No, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking there. The killer song on here is The Walking and Constantly. Yes, The Walking and Constantly. They're all killer songs, actually. So I didn't lie just then. And that song is, it's definitely leaning towards sad, but it's a little more, I don't want to describe it as commercial, because it's not. I wouldn't say any of her music is commercial, but that was one of her singles. We'll put it that way. So, but let me tell you, this album, it really makes you wonder, what defines music, and is this music? And most of this album can pretty easily be described as music. You might have a hard time labeling it like what genre is this? But that last track, The Bird in the Gravel, that is pure performance art to me, and it has musical qualities to it, but it's almost like poetry or spoken word, or a little bit of like acting and some sound effects, and it just kind of, you just close your eyes and it takes you somewhere, So this album definitely, hands down, has affected me the most, just because it makes me open my eyes to like what music is. And I think that's one reason my musical taste is just so diverse. For those that don't know me, I literally like everything from classical music to death metal. So, and I like everything in between. Yeah. And I think this album is one reason I'm that way. And I kind of broke out of, or stepped out of the footsteps of my brothers, just following the music that they liked, and it allowed me to find my I was gonna say my niche in music, but I don't really have a niche. I like so much music that I can't even describe it as a niche. But anyway, all right, this is turning into a long video. Again, congratulations on your 100 subs. These represent my answers. The album that has affected me the most, Jane Sibry's The Walking, and the musical event that affected me the most, Radiohead at the Hollywood Bowl with my wife. So, congratulations again. Thank you so much for posing these questions. It was a lot of fun answering. It took a few tries because I found myself talking about my surroundings here a little bit too much. I'm filming this from our library, so I won't go into the details of that, but yeah, I just thought I'd try something different. Anyway, congratulations. Thank you everybody for watching, and wish me luck.